What's up, guys? This is Webby back again for your 32nd annual Survivor Series preview and predictions. This coming Sunday, live on the WWE Network, we will be watching the 32nd annual Survivor Series. Teams of 5 competing to see which brand has brand supremacy in the WWE. Which brand on the main roster is truly the A and B show in the WWE? The only pay-per-view of the year where the brands face off. Will we see Shinsuke Nakamura, the king of strong style, the king of mind games in the WWE on the main roster, beat Monday Night Rollins, the King Slayer, burn it down? Will we see Brock Lesnar, the Beast, the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion, beat the new WWE Champion in Daniel Bryan? Excuse me. Will we see Ronda Rousey break off Charlotte's arm at the Survivor Series? Or will we see Ronda Rousey tap out at the Survivor Series to the figure 8? We will find out about that, plus so much more this coming Sunday, and we will discuss that, plus everything else on the card right here today on the podcast, on this preview and predictions of the show. First off, if you have not watched my Raw or SmackDown live reviews, go back and check those out. A lot of things happened during those shows. Becky Lynch dropped her spot of the Survivor Series and gave it to Charlotte. New WWE champion, new heel on SmackDown, and Daniel Bryan. We had Paul Heyman on SmackDown last night, plus so much more we discussed about. Go and check that out. A lot of good content on SmackDown Live. Monday Night Raw, Braun Strowman getting another Universal Championship opportunity in the future. Stephanie McMahon on the show. Brock Lesnar on the show. All of that plus so much more happened on Monday Night Raw that we discussed. Go and check out that review. And of course, if you have not done so already, subscribe to the channel. Join me on my journey right here on YouTube. It is much appreciated. Go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, go to Facebook and Twitter, follow me on those 2 websites as well. At 2007 Webby, a lot of fun and hard work goes into all 3 of those for you wrestling fans out there. Polls go up for you to vote on. I keep up the date on those with different things, and I also put my thoughts on both of those websites while the show is going on. So tune in to those websites while the shows are going on, and of course right here on YouTube as well. Much appreciated. 150 subscribers. Thank you for being one of them if you are. And if you're not, tune in and be one. Now, the Survivor Series. Let's start off with the women's 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination tag team matchup. We have Team Blue SmackDown, led by Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, and what it looks like to be Paige's old friends, because, you know, they already have one of Paige's old friends in there, and the only one they need to add is Mandy Rose. That's what only makes sense here. They have Sonya Deville on there, so why not just put Mandy on there? That's what makes the most sense. When you look at who they could have put, that would make more sense as far as made it more attracting for people to watch as far as star power, in my estimation, the Iconics. Because they've been more entertaining than Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. But that's just me. Whatever the case, that is your Team Blue side on that matchup. And they'll be taking on Miss Power Hungry hitting herself, Nia Jax, Mickie James, Natalya, Tamina, and Ruby Riott. This contest, anytime you see a traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 elimination tag team matchup, it is all about what kind of mixed match are we going to see inside the squared circle? Are we going to see Tamina, lock it up with Asuka? Are we going to see Asuka lock it up with Mickie James again, just like we did down in NXT? That would be cool to see. Or what about if we saw, let's just say, Ruby Riott and Sonya Deville? That would be a hard-hitting affair as well. A lot of interesting dynamics are going to come into this contest. In the end, I think Team Blue is going to come up short end of the stick. I really do. Unless they have Nia Jax get counted out in some form or fashion. And the reason why I think Team Red is going to win is because they don't want Nia Jax to lose a matchup on her way to facing Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. So that's why I'm looking at it that way. Raw wins in this contest. Speaking of the other traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination tag team matchup that's actually important, that's the men's, okay? The men's side. And we have Braun Strowman leading Dolph Ziggler, Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre, and Lashley. They face Shane O'Mac, The Miz, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, and Rey Mysterio. I want you to picture this, wrestling fans. Braun Strowman versus Samoa Joe at the Survivor Series. Picture this, wrestling fans. Rey Mysterio, Finn Balor. Drew McIntyre squaring off against Jeff Hardy. All those different dynamics are going to come into play at the Survivor Series. Can't wait to see it. Now, who will end up being victorious? It's very a hard dynamic to choose, right now. Because you have Braun Strowman, who's been just waylaid as of late on the low end of so many victory matches. But then you have SmackDown Live, where you have Samoa Joe's had the same thing. You have Jeff Hardy, who's had the same thing. You have The Miz, who's had some miscarriage of justice put on him in his eyes, I'm sure, with everything involving Daniel Bryan as far as WWE Championship title is concerned. You have Shane McMahon that's in there simply to put butts in the seats, and because Vince McMahon wants him to be in there. If you are a Shane McMahon fan or not, let's be honest, that is the reason. And you have Rey Mysterio in there because we all want to see a high-flying affair contest with Rey Mysterio. The majority of us do. So, it's very hard to choose this one. If I had to choose any, I'd have to choose Raw winning this one. You know, look at who is on the rise in this contest the most. It is Monday Night Raw. When you see who's in this, Braun Strowman still got another opportunity. Not Dolph Ziggler, but Drew McIntyre still. Team Red's going to win this contest. Speaking of another Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. Get the last one out of the way. It is the tag team one as far as elimination tag team style matchup. And WWE did a good job at sticking this on the kickoff show because who cares about the tag teams facing each other? There's no story behind it. There's nothing behind it. It's just a way to get all the tag teams on it. It's useless. It's a hunk of crap. I'm just saying it now. The only good thing that would come out of it is if we saw a glorious heel turn in Bobby Roode. That's it. But Bobby Roode going to be a loss in their column because SmackDown's going to win that contest at the Survivor Series. I see that happening right now. Now, moving on down the line in this, we have the Raw Tag Team Champions, AOP, versus SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The Bar, with the Big Show. And AOP, you know, I hate seeing that that it's going to be kind of like a landslide here, but it very well might be. It very well might be. Now, I say that, and then WWE might, you know, just pull something the way they did last year, where it ends up being even up until the last matchup. But AOP is going to win this contest. There's no way that the Bar is beating AOP. The Bar can go out there and have a tremendous matchup against AOP. They're not going to get mowed down by the Authors of Pain. The Bar is not the caliber of tag team that is going to get demolished like the B team did. Or like the team captains of the Survivor Series for Raw. Glorious Bobby Hill. Stupid phone. Alarm. Glorious Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Not going to happen. AOP will be victorious, though, after a great contest. Cruiserweight Championship is on the line. Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali. Buddy Murphy will be victorious in this contest. It will be a tremendous matchup. I see it being a hard-hitting affair. And in the end, Buddy Murphy will win. He hasn't had it long enough to drop the title. But I am glad we are seeing somebody like Mustafa Ali get this opportunity. Well deserved. He's been on the roster long enough. He has worked his tail off getting this opportunity, and he deserves it. But he's just not going to take the title from Buddy Murphy. yet. It's Buddy Murphy's time right now. So that's kind of where I'm seeing this right now. The Intercontinental Champion, burn it down. The King Slayer, Seth Rollins, takes on the United States Champion, the King of Mind Games, on the main roster today, the King of Strong Style, the current United States Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. This matchup, very good. Very, very good. When you look at this contest and you look at what could happen, Dean Ambrose waiting in the wing. Keep this in mind, wrestling fans. The second pay-per-view Dean Ambrose has zero to do with. He didn't have jack to do with Crown Jewel. And he doesn't have jack to do with the Survivor Series. WWE, have him play a factor in this matchup. Have Nakamura and Rollins go out there and have an absolute barn burner. You want this to be a memorable first time ever matchup? Go out there and let it be a first time ever matchup. But we all know Nakamura is not going to win clean. So it's either Rollins is going to become victorious or Dean Ambrose gets involved and Nakamura is victorious. I would rather see the second one because it enhances the rivalry of Rollins and Ambrose. Do that. It'd be good. Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte. This has a lot of dynamics in it. A lot. Because up until this point, we thought it was going to be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. Until this point. And then on Monday Night Raw, Nia Jax, I have the best punch in the universe. Whack. Cold-cocked Becky Lynch as hard as she could. And broke her nose. There was blood all over her face. And it was nasty. But on SmackDown, Becky Lynch passed the reins over to Charlotte. Now, some of you might be a little upset about this because Charlotte's getting her opportunity now. And you would rather see somebody else get this chance at Survivor Series. Let's be clear, okay? They had all the women standing in the ring. Did any of those women look ready to face someone like Ronda Rousey? Some of you might say Asuka. And yes, I would say Asuka as well. If Asuka had been treated like she was treated when she was on a undefeated streak and was mowing down people, and even if she would have just lost one match and then continued on mowing down people once she got to SmackDown. But that wasn't the case. So when you look at everybody in the ring, Charlotte's the only one that makes sense. And Charlotte is going to be a great contest against Ronda Rousey. And with Becky Lynch saying that she's not done with Ronda and all that, you know, sometime down the line, Becky Lynch is going to get her hands on Ronda Rousey. Now, do I think it's a guarantee that that's going to happen at WrestleMania? Absolutely not. WWE could pull something out of the hat and give us another Raw versus SmackDown, and they'll pull it as a first time ever Raw versus SmackDown at the Royal Rumble or something of that nature. And then still go with Charlotte versus Ronda at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. And have Charlotte win the Royal Rumble. And plans still stay the same. They could do that. Or they could have Becky and Charlotte win the Royal Rumble. Pull a 1994 out of it where, you know, Bret Hart and Lex Luger, you know, came over the top rope and fell to the floor. And then they have Becky and Charlotte go over to Monday Night Raw and challenge Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. Something of that nature. We'll have to wait and see. But it's an interesting dynamic. Whatever the case, Ronda Rousey beats Charlotte Flair at the Survivor Series after a tremendous knockdown, drag-out affair between these two women. There is no doubt in my mind that that's going to happen. No doubt. And finally, the main event. Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan. Now, last night, I almost guaranteed that we'd see Daniel Bryan lose at the Survivor Series. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going out on a limb here. This is going to be a very niche. I am one of very few people that's going to predict this. Very few. Okay? For those of you watching me right now, for those of you that have stuck around this long, I appreciate it. And I'm going to come out and tell you, I am probably, if you go and watch any other preview and predictions, I am one of very few that will predict this. I am predicting Daniel Bryan to win at the Survivor Series. Why? Because he needs it. Could he afford a loss? Absolutely. But he needs it as well. With as much as happened this week with him, turning heel, WWE champion, beat Brock Lesnar, WWE, go all out. You want to make this a memorable week for Daniel Bryan. Put this David versus Goliath matchup on at the Survivor Series and have Daniel Bryan conquer the beast. It's not like he'll do anything to Brock Lesnar either. Neither man is going to take a hit on this. Brock Lesnar wanted to face the best wrestler in the world. According to Paul Heyman last night, he said AJ Styles was the second best wrestler in the world, and Daniel Bryan was the best wrestler in the world. Well, if Daniel Bryan's the best wrestler in the world, then the best wrestler in the world needs to take Brock Lesnar down at the Survivor Series, tap him out, or running knee to the face. 1, 2, 3. Clean victory for Daniel Bryan at the Survivor Series. Who cares? Who cares if it's heel versus heel? Daniel Bryan's going to walk into that and be a babyface. He is. Because of how WWE has betrayed Brock Lesnar. There will be a niche audience that boos Brock Lesnar. Give Daniel Bryan the win. Don't give us the same type thing that we saw last year. Let it be SmackDown's turn. WWE already announced, they stick their foot in their mouth a lot of times. WWE announced that, SmackDown's lost the last 2 years. Have them win this year. And this would be an ultimate win, not only for SmackDown, but also for their main champion. And it would enhance Daniel Bryan's character going into the rivalry with AJ Styles. Now, some of you might say, well, if he beats Brock Lesnar, then who can beat him on SmackDown? No one can beat him on SmackDown. Give me a break. Give me a break. Daniel Bryan deserves this. And if I hear that from somebody, this is garbage. Brock Lesnar loses at the Survivor Series. I'm predicting it now. It's off the wall, I know, but I'm predicting it. And that's your Survivor Series, 32nd Annual Survivor Series preview and predictions. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to share this video. It'd be much appreciated as well. And until I see you again, which will be sometime later this week, for one more classic Survivor Series review. I'm not quite sure which year I'm going to be doing yet, but it will be a classic Survivor Series review. So tune in for that as well. This is Webby, and I will catch you on the other side. Talk to you later.